Hey guys, I am back with my December book haul and I have 12 books to show you. This is really bad. Actually, technically, one of two of these. I don't have one right now. I lent it out to a friend and I forgot about it. Two of these I actually bought in November when I went to go out for Thanksgiving. We flew out to see my aunt. And I bought these while we were there, but I had already filmed my November book haul, so they're mixed in with this one. The first book I actually don't have a copy of it because I lent it out to my friend and I forgot to get it back, so hopefully I get that back before I leave. And that is Yes Please by Amy Poehler. I love Amy Poehler. This past semester of school, I actually watched a lot of Parks and Rec because this one girl that lives in my dorm building and kind of hangs out with me, my roommate, it's one of her favorite shows, and she's like, oh my gosh, guys, you have to watch this. So we watched it, and it's really funny, and I just love any movie with Amy Poehler. And then on top of that, I went and saw Sisters with my family on Christmas, and it was really, really funny. And I just love her. I think she's like one of my favorite comedians. So I have that, and it's supposed to be really funny. I've heard really good reviews from it from everybody who's read it, so I'm super excited to read it. The next book I have is this gorgeous, beautiful edition of Scott Fitzgerald's The Beautiful and Damned. And what is the stuff in here? Ooh, I got a cool bookmark. Look at it. It's so pretty. My aunt lives in San Jose, so that's like about an hour drive away from San Francisco, and I love San Francisco. I love going there. Every time I go, I want to go visit San Francisco because it's my favorite place. So one day while we were there, we went to San Francisco and we walked down their Chinatown because that's always cool. And then at the end of Chinatown, you make a right, and there's this book called City Lights Books. And it's a little bookshop, and let me tell you, it is the most beautiful little place I've ever been to. Like, the walls are lined with books, and there's no exact set thing as how to find your books. Like, they're kind of divided up by genre and kind of by author and stuff, but you can't just know where to go. Like, you have to browse. And let me tell you, I had a great time in there, and my whole family was like, okay, let's go, Kristen, come on, let's go. And I was like, but there's so many books. So yeah, I enjoyed it very much. And so I picked up, and of course I couldn't leave not buying a book from there, so I picked up The Beautiful and Damned, and it's so beautiful. It's a Penguins Classic Edition, and just look at this. Oh my gosh. I love it. I want to buy the rest of his works in this specific thing, and just look at it, without the dust jacket. It's so beautiful. This next book I just kind of picked up at Target because I was trying to withdraw cash from my work debit card, and the ATM I wasn't sure was working, so I was going to try to withdraw cash back, but they didn't have enough anyway, so I was like, well, shit, that was completely pointless. But anyway, so I picked up a book, and this is called H2O by Virginia Bergen. Look at this. This is cool. And there's holes in the cover. Ooh. You see my owl? No, probably not. Oh, my fault. So I picked this up. This is about the world after this crazy storm system blows through, and the rain is acid. And currently 0.27% of the world's population survived this crazy storm. And this story follows a girl named Ruby. And Ruby, lives in the modern times with us. And 2 weeks before this crazy rainstorm blew in, the radio was broadcasting, it's in the rain, it's fatal, it's contagious, and there's no cure. And then the rain hit and it killed all these people, and the actual available drinking water is slowly shrinking. And so Ruby is forced to either stay there and try to survive, or go out on this crazy adventure across the country to go try and find her father, who may not still be alive. So that sounded awesome. And the sequel actually just came out, and it's called Storm, so I'm pumped to read this because it sounds really, really cool. Then my roommate and I decided we were gonna go have fun at Barnes and Noble's one day, and we got a little out of hand. The first book I picked up on that trip was These Shallow Graves by Jennifer Donnelly. This cover, like, just take 1 second. Like, how breathtakingly gorgeous is this? And like, so this story follows Jo. Jo is this beautiful, young, rich girl who lives in New York City, and she's currently enrolled at a finishing school, and she's expected, once she's done, to go off and get married to this really wealthy man who's going to take care of her for the rest of her life. But really, that's not what she wants. She wants to become a writer. She wants to write for a newspaper, which obviously isn't going to be very approved of, and I don't think her dad approves of it either. But then her world is turned upside down when her dad is found dead after cleaning his gun. And now Jo knows her dad is not the kind of guy to accidentally shoot himself while cleaning his revolver. So she slowly starts digging into her father's death and finds all these secrets, and it just sounds flipping amazing, and I'm super excited to read this. And like, just look, like, another thing that made me fall in love with this is it has maps on the inside, and I love when books contain maps. They're beautiful. And then this is what it looks like without a dust jacket. Pretty. There's like indents of roses down here in the corner. Then I picked up The Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson. This is book 3 in the Mistborn trilogy. Well, actually, it's no longer a trilogy. It's actually a longer series now, but it was originally a trilogy. But anyways, this is the 3rd book, and the reason I picked up the 3rd book the reason I accidentally picked up the 3rd book is because when I was reading Mistborn, I finished it, and at the end it had a little excerpt. I don't fucking know what it's called because I can't say the word. At the very end, and I thought that was the next book, and because at the top it said Hero of Ages, like, oh, that's the 2nd book, and then I realized this is the 3rd book, and I got really upset at myself. So then we made a second trip, and we picked up The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson, which is the 2nd book in the Mistborn trilogy. So now I'm good. I got this. The first book in the series is the first book in the series is called Mistborn, and if I don't want to go into the plots of these 2 books. Well, actually, I don't even know the plot of the 3rd book. I know the plot of the 2nd book, but the plot of the 3rd book, it follows a girl named Vin, who's a street urchin, and she ends up getting thrown into this thieving crew who has decided to do this crazy-ass plan to overthrow the Lord Ruler who rules the world and take back the government and free the oppressed Ska. So, yeah, it's fucking amazing. Like, literally, you have to read it. If you haven't read it, I feel sorry for you. And especially now that there's all this hype over it after the Booksplosion book group did it as their book for 1 month, like, you have to read it now. Like, it's amazing. Like, it's one of the best, like, high fantasy novels, like, I've ever read. Like, it's so good. So anyways, this book follows Vin after the events in the 1st book, and then this one follows the events after the 3rd book, so they're really good. And I know the size may be kind of intimidating, which is what intimidated me from reading it for a really long time, because it was so chunky, but literally it's so good, and you will fly through it. Like, you'll love it, I promise. The next book I picked up is The Mercy List by Danielle Vega. And I don't really know much about this book. I actually really wanted the hardcover edition because it's super gorgeous, but didn't have it anywhere. So, all the back says is "Forgive us, Father, for we have sinned." And the only thing I really know about this book is that it takes place in a cult, an all-female cult, and I've heard this is pretty scary and it's really gruesome. So, I'm kind of I'm hoping I'll like it because I kind of want to read more like horror-based novels because they're really good. So, but I've heard really, really good things about this book, so hopefully it's good. And then I came home for break and my mom was like, let's go get you a microwave cookbook. And I was like, okay, because let me tell you, when you get to college, you get sick of living off ramen every day really fast. And so we went to Half Price Books, and while she was doing that, I went and looked in the other sections, and I was like, Mom, if we're going to do that, I have to get another book. And she's like, okay. So I went and I picked up 2 books, and the first book I picked up is The Bane Chronicles by Cassandra Clare, Sarah Reese Brennan, and Maureen Johnson. This is a bind-up of all the little novellas that Cassandra Clare wrote for Bane. Magnus Bane. I was about to say Magnus Chase. That is so wrong. For Bane and like all his little things too. I'm curious to see this because he is one of my favorite characters in the series. I really enjoy him. So getting like little short stories to see more from his point of view and what he does, like this is gonna be fucking awesome. Like I can't wait. And it's in hardcover because as you know, I am currently still trying to rebuy the whole Mortal Instruments series in hardcover because, let's face it, they're beautiful. And the second book I picked up is Far, Far Away by Tom McNeill. I really like this dust jacket because, like, you take off the dust jacket, literally, it's just clear. And then it's got the imprint on the flaps. And then you just have the book. And it's so beautiful, and I love it. And this is weird. Like, why do you do that? Like, it's still like beautiful on its own, you just don't have the description. This book follows a boy who lives in a small little town, one of those towns where everybody knows everybody else, but suddenly there is this curse or something placed on his town, and suddenly everybody becomes a fairy tale character, and he has to go through all these fairy tales to try and figure out how to turn everybody back to normal. And it just sounds flippin' awesome because I love fairy tales, and I just really like this cover. So as you guys probably noticed this year, I didn't have a Christmas book haul because I didn't get any books for Christmas. Sad day. But my parents did give me a Barnes & Noble's card, so I went and spent that. The first book I picked up is Vengeance Road by Erin Bowman. And like, just look how beautiful this cover is. Like, I picked it up solely for the cover originally because I just love the cover, and it makes me think so much of the Wild West, which everybody considers Texas is, so I just love it. It's so pretty. And ooh, look, it looks kind of like leather. It's undone. Oh, it's so beautiful. This book follows a girl named Kate, and Kate's father has recently been murdered. And the reason he has been murdered is because he supposedly has these maps and directions to a hidden gold mine that nobody knows about. And in order to reveal who killed her father and why and where all this is, Kate disguises herself as a boy and goes into the mines and is trying to figure out the secrets from inside. And that sounds really cool. And the second book I picked up is A Mad Zombie Party by Gemma Showalter. This is book 4 in the White Rabbit Chronicles series, and to be honest, I didn't even know this book was out yet. Like, I heard she was writing a 4th book, but it didn't really have a release date, and then I went in Barnes & Noble, so I was like, oh my god, it's out, so I have to buy it, and it's in hardcover, so it matches the rest of my books. So I bought it, and I'm not going to tell you what's going on in this 4th book, because obviously it's the 4th book in the series, but the first book, which is Alice in Zombieland, is about a girl named Alice whose family is killed by zombies. But these zombies aren't normal zombies like the Walking Dead type of zombies. These zombies live in this other realm. It's like they live in the spirit realm. And there are these groups called Slayers who go and take care of these zombies and keep the rest of the mortal population protected from them. And Alice decides that's what she wants to do. So she joins in the group, and being a slayer means you have to separate your spirit from your actual body, and so you're in the spirit realm, and then you have to fight the zombies that way. And it's really cool, and it's really awesome, and I love the spin on a different type of zombie. So if you're looking for a new zombie read, I would definitely recommend the series. I think you'll really like it, and the main guy is super hot on top of that. And finally, my dad had me combine a bunch of Target gift cards, and then he was like, oh, this is for you and your sister to share. So we're like, okay. So my sister and I went together and we bought books, of course. Like, what else would we buy? And she bought This Book Loves You by PewDiePie, and I actually read it the other night, and it's really funny. It's a bunch of motivational quotes that really aren't so motivational, but it's really funny. Like, if you need a laugh, I'd pick up that book, especially if you like PewDiePie. So anyways, the first book I picked up is We All Looked Up by Tommy Walsh, and this cover is so beautiful, and I've been eyeing this book since it came out, but I just didn't want to pay the price for it with my own money. Oh, it's just simple black. So I've been like eyeing it, but now I have it, so I'm super excited. I'm just gonna read the inside flap. Before Andor came, we let ourselves be defined by labels: the athlete, the slacker, the overachiever. But then we all looked up, and everything changed. They said the asteroid would be here in 2 months. That gave us 2 months to leave our labels behind. 2 months to become something bigger than what we'd been. Something that would last even after the end. 2 months to really live. Oh my god, that sounds so good. And I just really love this cover. It's so cute, and I'm super pumped to read this. And finally, this is the last book of my entire book haul. I picked up the collector's edition of Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. I absolutely love this book. I've said it a million times. It's one of my favorite books of like ever. And I am Kath. Kath is me. We are one and the same. And I love it, and I love this book. I've been eyeing the collector's edition forever because I'm like, oh, I want to get it before they're done selling it. And the collector's editions of books are just so beautiful. Like, I have the 10th anniversary collector's edition of Looking for Alaska, and it is beautiful, and I love it. And I need to get the one for Eleanor and Park because they come with these beautiful drawings on the inside, and they're like the most beautiful things in the world. Like, just look at this. Oh my goodness. I love it. And then this one is fancy. It comes with an attached bookmark. I need more of those because I lose my bookmarks constantly. And then, like, look at this cover page. Like, look how beautiful it is. I just love it. Oh, I'm so in love. Like, you don't understand. I'm going to cherish this. This is going to be my new baby. Alright, well, that is it for my book haul. Those are my 12 books I picked up over the very, like, last week and a half of November, and then all of this month of December. So let's see if I can pick this up. So I will see you guys next time. Oh my god, this is heavy. There's so many books. How do I do this? I'll see you guys next time with the book talk, top 5 Wednesday or tag video. Until then, I'm Chrissy. Goodbye!